A few years back, when I was in high school, I had a dream about an old man showing me how to make a wooden stick that was covered in white and blue beads. I told my mom about the dream, and she told me that if I see something being shown to me in the dream, then I either have to buy it or I have to make it. Mom wasn't working at the time, and I was still rather young, so I let it go and life continued as usual. About 2 years later, I would start seeing a chicken's head wherever I went. And when I tried to open up my school books, I was not able to read what was written inside them. When I would try to read the books, the pages would be blank. So my mom decided that we were going to see Isangoma, a traditional doctor. My grandmother had also been a traditional doctor, so we were pretty familiar with some of the aspects of traditional healing. When we arrived at the traditional doctor's house, she prepared a bath for me and put me in it with medicinal roots in Telezi. As I was bathing, my skin began to itch and rashes began to show up on certain parts of my body. The Sangoma told me that ischito siyaphuma, which means the spiritual infection is leaving my body. After that cleansing, I would dream about snakes chasing me and a lion fighting the snakes off, trying to protect me. I would also dream about the lion standing next to me. When I told the traditional doctor about my dreams, she let me know that my grandfathers were protecting me. It's 2025 now, and I'm doing my first year in university. The dreams about animals have suddenly come back, but this time they're strange. I dreamed about fighting a tiger while I was sitting in a taxi, and I defeated the tiger. When I had defeated it, a cheetah showed up, and I had to fight the cheetah as well. I managed to defeat the cheetah, but after our fight, it looked at me with a smirk on its face, as if it was amused by the fact that I thought I had defeated it. I then moved from where I was in the taxi and sat in the driver's seat. I started driving the taxi, and when I looked back to check for the cheetah, it was gone. And instead, there were passengers who were shadows, izithunzi zabantu. I couldn't see their faces clearly, but I could tell that they were definitely people. Marcos. Marcos. Should I help her with that one? After a few days, I had another dream about the same old man who had been showing me how to make the beaded stick. This time around, we were going up a mountain, and it seemed as though he was showing me or teaching me something, but I could not hear what he was saying. Most recently, I had a dream about myself and a group of people making our way to a party. When we entered the party, we found ourselves on a bridge. When we made our way across the bridge, we saw a steadily flowing river that had steam or fog hovering over it. One of the girls who was part of our group told us that we should wash our feet in the river, and so we did. As I was washing my feet, I suddenly started having trouble breathing, and so I moved away from the water's edge. We made our way back towards where the party was being held, and I started seeing people who I knew for sure were no longer alive. I had not known these people in real life, but I could tell within the dream that they were no longer of this world. I then called out to my companions to find out if they could also see these people. At first, the group ignored me, but then some of them told me that they couldn't see anything, and I started feeling as though I was going crazy. When I asked one of the people who were no longer living where I could find my grandmother, they pointed towards a house on a hill and told me that I would find my grandmother there. When I arrived at the house, there was a line of people standing outside, and I kept shouting, Mama, Mama, until I woke up. Your mom was absolutely correct when she told you that whatever you are shown in your dreams to make or to go and find or to purchase, you do that. So I know you still have not made that stick. Isikhathi siyahamba sandwa sami. You need to make that stick. Then you started seeing chicken heads everywhere, indicating to you that's one of the tools that you will be using where you are going. But we're coming to that. You're trying to read school books. Your school books are blank, or your vision is becoming blurry because your ancestors do not want you reading those colonizer informed books. They want you to scrap that and learn from them. When you went for the cleanse, that infection that the Sangoma was picking up is most likely infections that you've picked up from walking in certain places, from interacting with certain types of people, and from not cleansing regularly. People like us have to cleanse regularly, otherwise, we end up with a lot of problems. Problems like snakes chasing you in your dreams, and now your ancestors have to pull up and defend you subconsciously because consciously you are not fully aware of what's going on. Those snakes, as well, by the way, are related to the other part of your dream that I didn't mention in this post. That one you need to go and get a consultation for, the one pertaining to your child. The traditional doctor was 100% correct. Those were your masculine ancestors showing you that they are looking out for you in the astral plane. Now we're in the taxi fighting tigers and cheetahs. Those are other aspects of your ancestry. And they're fighting not because they're trying to harm you, but because it's their turn to come and teach you things, but now they cannot because you have not dealt with the lion yet. That's part of why you see the cheetah smiling. The cheetah is amused because you think you can hold it off. You're still going to dream about that cheetah up until you do the things that you need to do. Now, you're the taxi driver, Wenumakeza, indicating what? You are someone who transports people, or in this instance, beings. You are seeing people as shades, Iztunzela, already indicating that they have passed on. And so it is your job to take them to where they need to be. Grandfather comes back to show you, come and meet me in the mountain. He's a lion spirit, right? Or they are lion spirits, rather. They've showed you this is our totem form. They want to show you something. So you were supposed to go to that mountain that he showed you, and they would have guided you to where you needed to be, and you would have found what you needed to find. And that thing would have probably bought you a little bit of extra time up until they would come back looking for you. In addition to that, whatever you would have found on the mountain would have helped to keep your body protected from whatever happens in the earthly realm. You not being able to hear what your grandfather is trying to tell you is not good because you need that information. So again, you're not steaming, you're not cleansing, you're not purging. Therefore, you are unable to receive spiritual or subconscious communication clearly. In good news, though, your dreams seem to be rather vivid, so I wouldn't worry too much. You need to figure out how to zoom into what you are being told and what you are being shown. You're now in your first year in university and you're back to dreaming about animals. Outside of your ancestors fighting you for their turn to teach you what they want to teach you, they're showing you they don't want you to go there. It's the case with most of us because you're supposed to be working with them. Now it's party time at the river's edge. You're crossing a bridge. That's an indication to you that you are moving from one dimension to another. So that bridge is a form of portal. You get to the water's edge. You're washing your feet. You need to go and cleanse at water at a river that looks like the one that you saw, but you cannot go in on your own. That's why you're breathing heavily. You're becoming fearful because you know if you go in that water by yourself, 40 years, you will be gone. You will come back after 40 years. So you never go into water by yourself up until you've done what your ancestors have asked you to do. Again, you're seeing shades, the essence of people who have passed on. It's showing you this is your ability. You're also able to do what? Communicate with them. You're a medium. When you ask them to show you where your grandma's house is, they hear you, they listen, and they respond. They show you your grandmother's house is over there on the hill. I would venture to say your grandmother isn't necessarily your guide, but she will be one of the ancestors who will be helping you on your journey. Remember, this gift essentially is coming from her. It always comes from the grandmother and skips the mother. Your mother will have knowledge. Perhaps she herself was supposed to attend to the calling and didn't. Now it's your problem. You now have to go and pasha, pray, ask your grandmother and your grandfathers what it is that you need to do. Ask them to lead you to the person who is supposed to guide you, or let them know that you are ready only when you are ready, not just willy nilly because you feel like it. Because once you begin with them, it's going to be a conflict with you in university. I'm very curious about what's going on with you in school. I have a feeling it's not going the way that you would like because that's not where you're supposed to be. So please, as soon as you can, you need to go for a consultation with someone that you trust. You need to make a decision about whether you are choosing to live the earthly way or you're going to answer your calling and live the spiritual way. Emakosin.